Coming to you from that once-forgotten artery that pulses through the center of the continental United States and into the heart of the Ozarks, Grace Matthews. Looking in from the northern border, our Canadian friend, along with his countrymen feeling the effects of U.S. political issues, Connor Murphy.
Welcome to Dueling Dialogues, episode 175. I'm Connor Murphy here with Grace Matthews. Hi, Grace. How you doing?
Doing pretty well. It's not raining, and I think at least in southwest Missouri, we are out of the tornado watch.
Wow, you guys have had it
for the first
bad.
time maybe all week. Yeah, I mean, Jefferson City, we've got to think about all of our friends up there. I mean, that city is just wiped out.
Wow.
It's really horrible. It also hit in Carl's Junction, which is very close to the tornado that killed 169 people 8 years ago in Japan.
Unreal.
Golden City, which is, I always think of it as on the way to Kansas City. So really the whole state has had disaster, but Jefferson City there's a lot of homeless people there.
Yeah,
as we speak. Very sad.
Very sad. And you're still waiting a roof.
I am still waiting a roof, and because of all the damage, I could be waiting a very long time. I'm waiting a roof and a new fireplace.
So, all the listeners, send Grace some money, please.
Well,
get a roof fixed.
Yeah, right now it's not the money. It is getting workers.
Right.
I mean, they are busy. I mean, maybe you could just do a little under the table thing, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, probably is
a
happening.
little extra cash. I wonder if that is happening.
Oh, guaranteed.
Yeah. Well, you know.
And then who can forget the biggest storm? The St. Louis Blues are in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Oh, yay, Missouri.
Yeah, I believe the last time was, 1970 or something? So, yeah.
I must have been a babe because I don't remember it.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I was born, but I don't remember it. But, you know, Blues games are fun. It's just impossible to get tickets to, even if they aren't the winningest team.
Right.
I'm not kidding. You have to beg, borrow, and steal and pay a lot of money to get those tickets.
I think they're going to have to play some good hockey in order to beat the Bruins.
I agree.
Yeah.
We can always hope.
Yeah, for sure.
But speaking of those on top, you know, when you're on top, you have a special perch.
I guess so, right? Yeah.
You know, you really should not be so susceptible to criticism, okay? I mean, you have to be cognitive. Fox News seems to be reacting to everybody's criticism. Okay, they are on top. They're not just on top. They have now picked up an audience that is 40% Democrat.
Wow. Wow.
We all remember the day when a Democrat wouldn't watch that.
Yeah,
channel.
Absolutely. Huh.
And I'm still not sure why they watch it, whether they watch it to criticize it or because Fox, in a lot of hours, they have moved to the middle or left. I mean, you know, you can't get more left than Shepard Smith or Chris Wallace.
Well, by my estimates, 40% of Democrats are also internet trolls. So we may have a point there.
They are. It's always about intellect to them.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen so many ways to suggest somebody is not smart enough.
Yeah, I know. If you don't think like them, you're a racist and Islamophobiast and what else? So
exactly.
I've been called it all.
Yeah, but I guess that the big news here is that Fox has been under fire for Sean Hannity's contributors.
Okay.
He calls them investigative reporters.
Right.
Or investigative journalists. And there are those out there, you know, that are the journalism police. They say, no, they're not. Well, really, how can you say that? Because what is really the criteria?
Right.
You know, I mean, really, there isn't one. Still, Fox has told Hannity to quit it.
Huh.
And Hannity says, no way. And so the big story is that Hannity is giving the bosses at Fox the middle finger. Well, you know what? He beats everything on cable.
Right.
And a lot of stuff that isn't on cable. Okay? What is new here? I mean, I know there's a lot of bad things about Roger Ailes, and sexual abuse, but you know what? He built that company. He would have never bent over because somebody like a CNN was complaining.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely stupid.
Yeah.
But it has me thinking, okay, can a news agency be in the middle? I mean, because, okay, if you try to be in the middle and you have guests, you have to concede something or they'll never come back or they'll walk on you. We have hit a wall in journalism. You know, even our little show, if we have a guest, it dictates something that I'm not sure we want dictated. And I really, when we originally started this, believed we would have more guests.
Yeah.
But really, the message, you have to give away too much.
Yeah, well, you know, that is a really good question. Can journalists be in the middle? I think that we have a couple news outlets here. Of course, the CBC is funded by the government, so you can see how far left they actually lean. But there's Global and CTV that kind of does go. They're still left leaning, but they kind of do stay in the middle.
Do they have a lot of guests? Do they do the contributor thing? Because, you know, Fox, the contributor was born at Fox because they realized early on that if we're going to be right-leaning, you know, we're going to have trouble getting guests. So we're going to pay contributors to be our guests.
Yeah.
And everybody followed suit. Every other news agency. And I think because they had to.
Right. I'm sure it is like that on the actual news channels, but I don't watch that stuff. I don't care what anybody else thinks. It's what I think.
Right.
So I don't have time for that. You know, I'll watch CPAC directly and see what's going on in the Parliament building, but that's about it. You know, you got to really question where your news is coming from, because even I've seen right-leaning sites repeat stuff that is from AP, which is obviously also, you know, leaning left.
Exactly.
So,
it's hard to pull sources from only right-leaning or middle-leaning because there's just not that many.
Right.
Well, as we think about, Mark Levine has released a new book called Unfreedom of Press, and I'm pretty sure we'll be reviewing it in the next week or so. I think it's a good question. In this environment, can we have a middle-of-the-road, fair news outlet?
I mean, it's
Must they be right or left? Now, maybe even within a news agency, you can have an hour of right, an hour of left, but I'm not sure you can gain the kind of information you need without kissing somebody's rear end on one side or the other.
It's sad that this has come to this.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, we were involved in journalism back when you reported the news. You didn't insert your opinion unless you marked it as an opinion. But today you will not find things marked as opinion that should be.
Exactly. Now, I will say that I do believe that Fox defines opinion and news. Sometimes what they mean by news, though, is more left-leaning pundits. Okay? But they do identify it. CNN has pundits that are left-leaning that they're trying to pull off as news sources. And that's really just That's an insult to the audience.
It is.
As if we wouldn't know.
Yeah, exactly. It is.
So, I think that journalism has been taken over by opinion.
Pretty much. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Trump has declassified millions of documents.
Oh.
Now, he has declassified it so that, at the request of the Attorney General Barr, so that he can use it to basically prove the case. You know, we don't know which way it's going to go for sure yet. That has to do with investigating the investigators of the Russian probe. You know, what was the genesis?
Right.
Why did we need to do this? Why did we need Mueller?
Right. Which is something we've been asking for 2 years now.
Exactly. And why didn't Mueller go there? They said today that Mueller didn't even attempt to try to determine why he was there.
Yeah, I know.
That seems insane.
Yeah, it does, because that's the biggest question of the whole thing is how did this start?
Yeah.
Where did the information come from?
Where did it start? And was it, you know, the favorite word lately is predicated. You know? Now, Nancy is all upset about this, apparently. Okay? She says that Trump releasing all these classified documents is really a cover-up. Now, how confused is this woman?
Yeah, no kidding. Okay,
he's uncovering the documents, and she's calling it a cover-up. Okay?
Yeah.
Transparency means what to her? You know, transparency is like we can see through. We can see the information, Nancy. She needs to look at some ink blots.
Yeah, I think so.
We need to analyze her.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you see the drunk video?
I did, and it got removed.
Oh, yeah. It was...
You know, I have really stood up for her, believing it was dementia. And you kept saying you thought she drank.
Yeah.
And I said, no, I think she's got some dementia. And I still do think she has some dementia, but she really did sound drunk.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That was the thing you do with words when you drink too much, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny that she would be suggesting a Trump intervention when she's the one that needs an intervention from her vodka.
Yeah, again, that's what they always go back to. Like I said, it's just like families that, you know, let's make mom think she's crazy so we can take her money.
Yeah,
because,
exactly.
You know, if you suggest to someone they're crazy, you know, and there's lots of different ways to do it. Okay, you can get in front of a microphone like Nancy and say that he's crazy and he needs an intervention from his family and he has anger issues. And I hope that it takes hold. Comey did the same thing to Trump.
Yeah.
And in fact, Rosenstein throwing that 25th Amendment and wearing a wire around.
Yeah.
You know, or suggesting he might wear a wire. I mean, did he or didn't he wear the wire? I think that's an interesting thought, too.
Yeah, no kidding.
Nevertheless, if you throw it out there enough, it might take hold.
Yeah, that's what they're hoping for.
That's exactly what they're hoping. You do that when you run out of everything else. You know, kind of like the family member that asks mom for money, she says no. And so they go, well, what's plan B? Let's make people think she's crazy.
Yeah.
If they think she's crazy and we steal her money, they'll think she did something with her money.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a very same thing, you know. You start looking at people in a different way. Thing about it is, the source needs to be a little bit more stable than Nance.
Yeah, from that video, she should not have been speaking.
Yeah, and she started something with Trump. Now he's calling her, you know, he had really refrained from giving her a nickname.
Yeah, you could see the frustration in Trump, though. He was just trying to get shit done.
Well, now she's got a nickname. Crazy Nancy.
Well, it suits her.
Sly and Chuck and Crazy Nancy. Okay? And also, there's little tweaks of headlines today where her travel junkets are under fire. She has spent $2 million in travel junkets. And where do you think that's coming from? He's putting probes out. He's going to find stuff. And listen, she's got a couple of kids with issues too, kind of like Biden.
Wow. Oh.
Well, let me tell you, it's all going to hit the fan, and it's all going to be in the headlines. Over the next week, we're going to see all sorts of stuff on the Pelosi family.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah. Fun. Get the popcorn.
Yeah, you bet. You bet. Well, it was we were just talking about media, and that video, as soon as it started to go viral, it was removed by YouTube for violating community standards.
Yeah, and you know what? That's BS, because if that would have been a Republican,
right,
they would have never taken it in.
Absolutely correct.
And she was in a public forum.
Yeah, I know. That's
now,
the
fact that she showed up drunk.
Yeah.
As her own damn fault.
Absolutely. So pretty disgusted at YouTube there. Yeah. But I have to admit, he also violates my standards. So, yeah. Speaking of violating standards.
Oh my gosh. Well, this is like a blast from the past, because we did a lot of stories about Harvey Weinstein. What a creep.
Yeah.
Okay, well, he's made some sort of deal with the court, which his victims will be paid $44 million.
Wow.
I still don't even see a current list of victims. I mean, there was, they said there could be hundreds. I don't know. So actually, how much money each of these will get was probably not that much. Sad.
Right. 25
anyway,
bucks.
And so go, wow, okay, great. Until you learn that it's not him paying it.
Oh?
He had a rape insurance policy.
That's a thing?
Yeah. The insurance policy is paying $44 million to these women.
I'm just shocked that there isn't insurance for this.
Well, because it seems stupid to sell it, because the guy that's going to buy it, probably a rapist.
Exactly.
Just a rapist money.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Disgusting.
There's a lot wrong with that.
There's
rape
so
insurance.
Much wrong with that. Yeah. Yeah, that might be a thing.
I wonder if a woman could buy rape insurance and collect if she gets raped.
I don't know, but insurance is so crazy. I went to my hairdresser one day, and he says he called the girl that worked for him a bitch, and I said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "Well, we're thinking of her claiming that I created some sort of sexual abuse and then splitting the money on the insurance policy." They were joking, but they were trying to make a point.
Right.
You know? And there's some truth to that.
Absolutely.
It can get a little insane, and I think that's one thing that Canadians are not as bad about, because you guys don't sue.
Right.
But suing creates needs for all sorts of crazy ass insurance.
Yeah, I guess you're right there. But
so
rape insurance.
If you pay enough, I guess they will write insurance for anything.
Wow. That's disturbing that has to exist.
Exactly. There's lots of things that are disturbing. And it disturbs me to have to bring up AOC. Okay? Because every time we bring her up, she just gains something in her. How naive is she?
Well, crazy seems to be a theme of our show today, so
yeah,
it just kind of makes sense that we're going to talk about AOC.
Yeah. She thinks the GOP ignited the hate between the Muslims and the Jews.
Wow. Did she not go to school?
I find it fascinating that she says she did.
Well, I don't think.
And she also supposedly is a Catholic.
Well,
how could you not know that Muslims and Jews have hated each other? I mean, really, if you figure that the Muslims are the Palestinians, you know, this could go so far. You could just keep going.
The beginning of time,
to the Babel.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
You really had, the Canaanites, which eventually, so that would be the beginning.
Well, it's
that was the Cain and Abel, and are you kidding me?
I find it
GOP.
Yeah, I find it very odd that the social queen has probably not taken social studies in school. Wow.
Supposedly she graduated from Boston College. I mean, I think that is she's a disservice to that school. That school should have their credentials jerked.
But that was from bartending, though, wasn't it? She's probably even a crappy bartender.
Well, yeah, and she must not have listened much. She must have been one of those bartenders that did all the talking, because you can learn a lot behind a bar.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot sitting at one before.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, I don't know. Awful. Crazy. You're right. That's the theme of the show today. Crazy.
Yeah.
Wells Fargo, of course, handed over the personal records of the president and I guess some of his children to the Congress, the congressional, they weren't oversight.
Isn't that a violation of their rights?
It better be, or else we're all in trouble. But Wells Fargo, remember they account for people. They have been in trouble. They wanted to repo people's homes back in 2008. They were doing fruity business things as late as 2018. They keep getting in trouble. They should be broken up. And of course, here they are handing over the personal documents of the president. And you know what is really bad about one bank turning them over? That they're out of context. You talk about rich people, they don't do business with one bank.
Exactly.
Okay? And so if you only pull the records from one bank, or if one stupid ass bank is the only one that handed them over,
right,
then you get some shrewd.
Yeah, you don't get the big picture.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
No, it doesn't.
It's kind of like a tax return on a very rich person really doesn't, because we're taxed on what we make in a given year.
Right.
We are not taxed on our wealth yet. Just wait till the Democrats get a hold of us. These socialist guys, they want to tax our wealth. But right now, we're only taxed on what we make.
Right.
In a year. So, especially rich people, there's years they don't make anything.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't mean they don't have it. Okay?
100% correct.
So, but a lot of Republicans are saying, take your money out of Wells Fargo. I'm not a boycotter, but I'm going to say, I think there are better choices for your money.
Yeah, if you have your money with Wells Fargo, probably not the best choice in banks out there.
Yeah, there's other great banks. There are a lot of people that think regional and local banks are great places to have your money.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So if you want to leave your money in there, fine, but probably you can make a better choice.
Invest with your local credit union.
Yeah, use your noggin. That's what my dad used to say,
Yeah. Don't join the crazy.
Sis, think. Did you think about that? Okay, so MS-13, the DNC, the Democratic National Committee, still says that MS-13, they're not animals, Mr. President.
Right.
Okay, they have now raped another person, another girl, 14 years old, and chopped her up with a machete. Now, they love to chop up people, which takes a killer to the level of animals.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there.
If it's not bad enough to be a killer, when you chop somebody up, and they've chopped everybody up that they killed on Long Island, which is a lot of girls, and I think there's even been a couple of guys in there.
Wow.
That is animals. And, it is very sad that the Democrats need votes. I'm going to call these the socialist Democrats. I don't think these are just everyday Democrats. They are so desperate for votes that they're willing to say MS-13 is not that bad. Of course, that's until they kill and chop up one of their family members.
Yeah, exactly. Disturbing.
I'd rather get them out of the country before it comes to my family.
Absolutely. They should not be here.
But, you know what? Every now and then, there's a nutty Republican. And I think at our last show, we talked about a nutty Republican that wants to impeach. Now we got another nutcase. Chip Roy, representative of Texas, objected to the vote disaster bill. Now, disaster, we still got people that are suffering from hurricane damage. Right. We've got all these tornadoes. We've got Puerto Rico that's still on their feet. So this morning they voted. Not everybody was there. This is the beginning of a holiday weekend.
Right.
We'll admit that. But a $19.1 billion disaster bill. Some of that went to Puerto Rico. Some went to these other places. And he says he didn't feel really good about it because there weren't enough people there. He blocked it. So these people are got to wait for them 10 more days to vote. At least 10 more days.
Unbelievable.
They never get anything done the day they get back. So I say 10 days will turn into damn 20.
Well, there's probably a lot of Texans that are still waiting for that money as well.
Yes, you're exactly right. And so...
Chip Roy, you're an asshat.
Yeah, he is. And he might find himself out on his ass.
Good. Yeah, that's some bad politics, Chip. But then again, his name's Chip, so I wouldn't expect too much out of the guy. Chip.
Good point, Chip. Yeah, I like Chip Eat. Potato.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Don't confuse my quasi-vegetables.
Exactly.
So Julian Assange, he has now officially been charged from the United States for publishing classified info. 18 counts. I still say we're not that interested in throwing him in jail. We are interested in getting him and Chelsea Manning, who he coerced with, and that's mentioned in this. We want the story. We want more info.
Yeah. It's already out there.
Input.
It's already out there.
Input.
Yes.
Julian Assange knows a lot of things. I mean, he's published a lot, but what does he know that he hasn't even published?
Which I'm amazed he's stayed alive this long.
Yeah. And that is a miracle. I'm very conflicted about him. So sometimes I sound like I'm on his side. I'm not necessarily. I don't know how to be about him. Is he a journalist?
Yeah, well, see, if he's a journalist, that might help him fight those 18 counts.
I am not so sure he will be convicted of these because of the United States and our First Amendment rights. I still say we don't care.
Right.
We want the trial. A lot of times we don't want the trial. We don't want the expense of the trial. But there is some reason why the government wants this trial.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
I'm even going to say that I do believe it's the Trump administration
that's pushing for it. Yes, to get it out there in a legal context. Yeah, for sure.
Obama really didn't want the trial.
No, because he wants him to shut up.
Yeah. And, he still let Chelsea out of jail. There's something there. I don't know what it is. But it's interesting, and we'll keep up on it.
Yeah, you know what? I'd be surprised if that doesn't get booted out of court before it happens.
Oh, I hope not. I want the info, too.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting trial.
I'm going to say, too, that we're going to get a lot of info during this Trump administration. We still got that IG report. Heck, that could come out today. This is a holiday weekend. 4 or 5 o'clock today, Eastern time.
Right.
No telling what will happen.
True.
What? Anyway, yes. I digress. California. I spent a lot of time in California as a kid. My aunt and uncle lived there. I would in the summers, San Diego. We'd go up to LA. You know what? When I was a kid, there was no place more beautiful. I mean, the sunshine, and it's not humid.
Right. It's kind of like where I live, but they have sun more often.
I better not come up to where you live. I'll never leave.
Probably.
I like sun and no humidity. I love Florida, but it's humid.
Yeah.
Missouri, it gets warm down here, but it's humid.
Exactly. Well, the humidity is what really makes it tough to...
California is beautiful. There was so much to do. We would ride motorcycles on the beach. Absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, it's like the perfect weather all the time.
Mom and I went out there 6 years ago to San Diego, and it was deteriorating. And I haven't been back since.
Right.
The pictures are disturbing of California cities. I'm calling it Cali cities. Doctors are now saying they are at risk of disease, possibly diseases that we haven't seen since the Dark Ages. You know why? Because you can't live in the streets with sewer. We learned that way back in Rome. They had sewers.
Right.
Israel, they had sewers.
Exactly.
You can't have human excrement and needles. They didn't even have the needles then. There are people that are afraid to let their kids walk in San Francisco because they might step on a needle. And it'll go directly through your shoe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a real risk. We're kind of California out here. So we have a fairly large homeless population because in Canada, if you're homeless in Winnipeg, you're probably going to freeze in winter. So
you're right.
Yeah, exactly. So if they can't get into a shelter, they come out here. So we went through a tent city last summer, and the province, federal government, and the local city, the municipality, has got homeless camps now. They've parked in those ATCO trailers, those like work trailers things with yeah. So we have a couple of those things. The neighborhoods they are in, crime is now through the roof.
Exactly. It's also another reason to think twice about immigration. We have to be able to take care of our own, and that's not a white supremacist attitude.
Yeah.
I'll tell you where we made our big mistake, and it is also how New York corrected their homeless problem, is you can't go in and take all the cheap, crappy housing away.
Right.
We've got it happening in our little city. We've got a family that has money, and I love that family, but they are buying up every sketch apartment building, upgrading it, updating it, making new standards for the tenants. And what we've got? More homeless people.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got to have, in California, it's gotten so crazy that you can't touch anything inside San Francisco for less than a couple $1 million.
Right.
And I'm talking about bare necessities. Okay, now what Rudy Giuliani did in New York was he said, okay, we're going to have controlled rent.
Right.
And I don't like that. It sounds a little socialistic, but we can't have people living in the streets.
Yeah.
For a whole lot of reasons. In California, you've got working homeless. There are a lot of people working good jobs that can't afford the housing.
Exactly.
They had a couple that had a travel trailer. Both of them work blue-collar jobs, but good blue-collar jobs. They said, we can't afford a house.
Yeah.
They're homeless.
That's exactly what we deal with out here.
No working homeless people.
Well, we do have rent control, so to speak, in Vancouver. However, that acceptable rent number for your apartment is $2,000 a month. So our politicians are very, very naive as far as how much blue-collar workers can afford, because that's not sustainable to the majority of the population.
Talk to accountants. They're a formula, and you got to do it. You cannot have rich landlords coming through buying everything because they say, oh, we're going to clean the city up. It has the opposite effect.
Right.
So, and don't we want people to have someplace to live?
Yes.
Aren't we that compassionate?
Well, look what's happened to California.
Yeah. The most beautiful place in this country is now a cesspool. And have you heard of things like the bubonic plague?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. You may think you're rich and you're walking by these homeless people and they're not going to bother you. Guess again, because guess what will outlive all of us on this planet? Germs.
Yeah. Rats and germs.
Yeah, rats and germs.
And cockroaches.
Yeah, cockroaches, yeah. Yeah, and those one cactus have outlived everything. I got two in my bathroom. I can't remember what they're called, but they say they've been around since the dinosaurs.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Okay. Republicans, conservatives, Trump supporters, because I think calling Trump supporters Republicans probably isn't that accurate. But instead of sweepingly calling all Democrats demo rats, it's time to start understanding that the economy is good. Not all Democrats think like the people in the bubble do.
Right.
Not all Democrats are Hollywood actors and politicians. You need them. You need to appeal to the flyover Democrats and the independents.
Right. Logic
and reason.
Well, I can't.
You got it.
Yeah, I don't see anybody that can take it from Trump. So they're just, Biden does do it for me. Nobody does it for me.
I tell you that Tulsi Gabbard, what's her name? Oh shoot, I'm like Nancy Pelosi.
You been on the
Tulsi
vodka already?
No, I haven't. But they never give her any airtime. She's a Democrat office from Hawaii, and I'll just call her Tulsi. Anyway.
Yeah, I think you're right, Tulsi.
Yeah, I know I'm right about that. I just don't remember the last name. Gabbard anyway. She is sane, and they hate her.
Right.
She could actually, if the DNC and the rest of the Democrats would get behind her, she would give Trump a run for his money. She's been in the military. She understands the military. She is totally old style. She's young.
Right.
But old style Democrat.
But she's not in the deep swamp.
No, they do not like her one bit.
Yeah, she'd shake things up big time.
Yeah, they don't want anybody. The Democrats are kind of bad because they've got these really old, crotchety people, and then they got these really young, naive people that think they know everything.
Right.
They don't have those 40 and 50-year-olds. Now, I will say that the Republicans do have some of those 40, 50-year-olds, okay? But the Democrats, not so much. And if you get one of those 40, 50-year-olds on one of these shows, they sound a lot like Trump.
Yeah.
Now, they would hate that.
If you said that, yeah, absolutely, they would argue that.
Absolutely, they would, but they sound reasonable.
Yeah, but yet none of them are front runners.
No, you got these socialists, the old socialists, the young socialists, and they're taking party.
Yeah.
And I will agree with one thing that Nancy said. Trump probably does want them to go with impeachment. Why not? He's got everything out there. He's got everything to gain.
He basically has been. Yeah, he basically has been impeached.
Yeah. So what the heck? That's all they're going to do. They're never going to work with him on infrastructure or anything else that would be a win for him. So really, why is Nancy fighting it?
I don't know.
They're going to go there.
Yeah, you could definitely see the frustration in Trump's voice when he gave his impromptu speech the other day. He was frustrated.
He was frustrated, but did he ever believe they would work with him on infrastructure? I didn't.
Well,
I don't think they're going to work with him on anything. You can't even get, this disaster bill. Of course, that was a Republican, but he was doing it in the name of the Democrats.
Yeah.
And nobody cared. Nobody said they cared. If they did, they wouldn't have flown out.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
So you got all this grandstanding in both parties. And, the one thing Trump has done, he has convinced us that he cares. And that's something we can't say about the other politicians. And I think it's the same problem that they had in the UK with Theresa May.
Right.
She was not really for Brexit, but she's going to lead them to Brexit. She failed.
Right.
Because her heart wasn't in it.
Yeah. She's more like a Theresa May not.
Exactly.
Will not.
So she stepped down. She's going to step down. She's going to be there a couple more weeks, give them time to get somebody in. And she should have done this a long time ago because it's kind of a non-story.
Right.
Of course she was going to have to step down. The fact that she waited so damn long is annoying. And you got to understand their politics are actually your politics, and the way you guys gain leadership is a lot more like the UK's than ours, I think.
Right, absolutely.
So they'll have somebody, probably that Boris guy, that walked on her because he knew she wasn't trying hard enough for Brexit.
Yeah, so the party will have a rally and elect a new leader, which that leader will become the new prime minister.
Exactly.
But not elected.
I knew you would say that better than me.
Yes, not elected.
It's very confusing. We have to elect it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the vice president could become the president, but that's another story for another day.
Yes. So, I'm not sure she should have been in power this long. I mean, it's been dragging on forever.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. You have to agree it's about time she did step down.
Yes, I agree. And we don't always agree, but a lot of times we do get pretty close. Thanks for listening. Godspeed, Connor. Godspeed to all of our friends out there.
Godspeed, Grace, and thanks for listening, everyone.